Son of a bitch. God damn it. I was muted that whole damn time. That's what I get for rushing. That's what I get for rushing, trying to please you people. Anyway, sorry for my lateness, lads and lassies. It was a hell of a day. Pretty long day. And, yeah, had a few trials and tribulations. But anyway, we're all good. We're all good. Good to see you all. So, needless to say, I was absolutely waiting for Level Earth Observer's video, and whatever else we may say about the guy, we can't say that he disappoints, because he doesn't. He does not disappoint. So I was delighted to find that when I came home, the video was already uploaded, ready for viewing. I watched the first minute or so of it, and then I got sidetracked, had to go do something else. So we're going to have a look at it together and see if we can pull it apart. Now, in the meantime, I've been chatting with, hold on, let me just, wait, this way, that way, there, there we go. I've been chatting with some other flat earthers on Facebook, and I gotta say, I was a little bit surprised at the sheer number of them in the comment section of, you know, articles and videos talking about yesterday's flight. What I found in the comment section was the overwhelming majority of people commenting seemed to take issue with the fact that money was being spent on space flight when we have so many issues in our world today. And I get that. I do get it. But at the same time, you know, not everything can be halted for other things. So yes, some more philanthropy would be great. Absolutely. But at the same time, we need to continue to build on what we have and further development in science in the area of dogs, can you please settle down? Fucking hell. They're full of beans, man. Anyway, I was shocked at the sheer amount of flat earthers in the side chat and the sheer amount of, I don't know, spacecraft experts that seem to show up to explain that they weren't in outer space because they were in low Earth orbit. I said, well, no, they weren't in low Earth orbit. First of all, they didn't orbit at all. It was a parabolic flight. And secondly, they went above the Kármán line. So it is the internationally recognized boundary of space. You know, a lot of people said that the Virgin flight didn't go into space because it didn't go above the Kármán line. But NASA defines space as quite a bit lower than the Kármán line, actually. So by NASA standards, Richard Branson did go to space. By international standards, the FAI, he didn't go to space. So, you know, it just depends on what way you look at it. So yeah, that was one side of it. The other side of the comments that came up was people whinging about Jeff Bezos and his business practices. Yep, I get it. I agree. A lot of them are awful. And then a lot of people were whinging about the environmental effect. The environmental effect of a rocket that burns liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. It produces a hell of a lot of water vapor out the back and very little other emissions, pretty much. There are some aluminium particles and things like that. Of course, there would be zero emissions if they didn't do it. But, you know, there would also be zero emissions if people didn't drive automobiles or go on trains or go on, you know, motorcycles or buses or aircraft, etc. So comparatively, when you stack up the environmental effect, especially of this rocket versus all of the aircraft out there, all of the motor vehicles out there, all of the, you know, power plant facilities out there, it's nothing. It's negligible. The effect on the environment of farming would far outweigh the effect of the effect on the environment of a rocket, for example, or multiple rockets, or thousands of rockets, in fact. So anyway, that was the other argument. So yeah, it seemed like a lot of people didn't like Bezos and didn't like what he was all about, and they saw it as a self-serving mission with no real reason to it. They were like, you know, what's the scientific advantages of taking on this mission? This is clearly just fulfilling some egotistic 69 viewers. Nice. This is clearly fulfilling some egotistical blah, 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 blah. Okay. So as for Jeff Bezos going on the flight himself, there's a few ways of looking at that. Could it be egotistical? Yeah, of course it is. Dude's fucking richest man in the world. Of course that's going to be the case. It's going to be at least part of it. As I said last night, there were other historical elements to that mission. The oldest astronaut to ever go to space, or call it an astronaut, not, you know what I mean? The oldest person to go to space, and the youngest person to go to space, all in one flight, which is pretty cool. And, you know, it's the first completely commercial flight with no actual trained astronauts on board. So completely flown independently of the craft itself. So flown from outside, basically. Flown by computers and by people on the ground managing all those systems, etc., etc., etc. So a lot of firsts, really, really cool. Now, what are the advantages of doing this? Well, number one, it opens up space to the average person. Of course, right now, none of us are going to be able to afford that. As far as I know, the vast majority of us would not be able to afford to get a ticket on that flight. Hopefully, as time goes by, it'll become cheaper and cheaper, and it might be something that would be within reach of a lot of people in the future. Hopefully, that would be awesome. I think we can all agree that would be really, really cool. I know if I had a chance to go to space right now, I would, absolutely. So then, what are the other applications of it? Well, basically, with the system that's being used on the current craft, the New Shepard, that is going to be very much scalable and transferable to the orbital rocket, which is the New Glenn. So basically, the New Shepard is like a scaled down version of the upper stage of the New Glenn. Basically, that's a very simplistic way of doing it. And the New Glenn is going to be an awesome thing, basically. Martin H says, just the first rung on the ladder of getting civilians into the solar system. I agree 100%. Yeah. You know, these things take time, and you know, it's just the way it goes. That's how it is. Andy Manser says, dudes have the money and can do this, so why not? If I had the money, I would do the same. Likewise, I absolutely would. I definitely would do the exact same thing. If I had the money to build a goddamn rocket and go to space, I would do it. There's no question. The automated tech will filter down, Fred Knott says. I agree 100%. Tim O'Lynch says, I'm not a big fan of Bezos, but he gave $100 million after he landed to each Van Jones and Jose Andres. That's really, really cool. I didn't know that. Professor Phil Bell says, it's wrong to criticize money spent in science. We all benefit from science. If we really want to stop poverty, guarantee every person a living wage. I agree. I absolutely agree with you 100% there, Phil. And the beauty of it is, because of the sheer amount of money that these people have, there is the opportunity to have those two things run side by side. Like, I mean, people in Ireland that work in Amazon, you know, people in the US that work in Amazon and all over the world talk about the awful conditions they work under. I've got friends who've worked there, and I can confirm it is as bad as people say it is. They do get paid a decent wage in Ireland, but surely a higher wage will be achievable, especially for the amount of work they do, the sheer volume of work they do, while still allowing Bezos to be the richest man in the world. So yeah, there's a big conversation to be had there for sure. Let me see. I wish they would take Nathan Thompson, hit the trapdoor button on the way down. Yeah, I don't think I was listening to MC Toon and Johnny O on MC Toon's channel this morning, and they made a really good point about the degrees of separation between the person, the unbeliever, the person who doesn't believe the space is real or whatever. The degrees of separation between how many degrees of separation will be needed between that person and a person who's actually gone to space. And my argument has always been that it would have to be them themselves. And if they did actually manage to achieve that, which let's face it is highly unlikely, if they did manage to achieve it, then it would be a case that they would claim that they were drugged or that there was gas pumped into the thing to make them think they saw a globe, etc., etc., etc. There will always be a subset of them who will believe it no matter what. I want to say a big hello, and now I have to watch my language because my mother is watching once again. Good to see you, ma'am. Can't wait to be home next week. I'm so excited. I really, really am. But now I have to watch my P's and Q's because Mama's here. So what we're going to do, hey, Jay Das Rylander, there's a name I haven't seen in a little while. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. So right now we've got 77 people watching, so make sure and smash that like button while we have a look at this video, and we'll break it down, see what Level Earth Observer's got to say about this awesome occasion. Now, I want you all, actually, before I get... Now, sorry about the light. The light's a little bit shit right now, so it's... Sorry, Mom. The light's not ideal right now because one of my lights broke earlier, so it might look a little bit fuzzy, but don't worry too much about that. So, anyway, we're going to have a look at the video, but what I want you to do is let me see, what can we put in the side chat? If we did a drinking game, I'm sure you'd probably die. So we'll try to do something else in the side chat. But basically, I want to do a mini drinking game in the side chat. Put, I don't know, a laughy face every single time he either says tosh, pantomime. What other words do we have? What other words do we have there in the side chat? So we've got tosh, pantomime, scientifically impossible, with absolutely no basis for that whatsoever. So yeah, Tosh, all you know the words. Let me know in the side chat what other words are there, and then we'll go from there. All right, lads and lasses, let's have a look at this absolute genius over here. Break down this flight. I mean, even the thought of saying, even beginning to suggest that he has actually broken this down in any way is kind of almost physically painful. And I've just realized that I don't have my headphones. So you're going to have to bear with me for a couple of minutes, not even a couple of minutes, 30 seconds while I go grab my headphones. Be right back. All right, I'm back. All right, let me give me 1 sec here while I Bluetooth up my headphones. I need to connect the headphones to NASA headquarters so that they can command me what to say, just to make sure I don't mess it up. All right, well, I did it wrong already, so that's a good start. There we go. Okay, this should be connected now. Or at least it will be. These headphones take forever to connect. I don't know why. Panicky says, "Get a haircut, Curly." I was actually running around the house trying to find a hat just before I started the show because my hair is so bad. My mom was complaining about my beard last night, but I'm going to go to the Turkish barber next week and get all slick for going back to Ireland. I've even got my lovely wooden beard comb ready to go. I haven't straightened the beard. I do have a beard straightener, legitimately have a beard straightener. But I haven't done it today because I'm fresh out of the shower and it's all dry and awful. But anyway, so we're all connected. Let's have a look. I realized that you couldn't see my face there, so give me one sec here. Because what's the point in watching without seeing my handsome face? All right, here we go.
Last week we saw Richard Branson's high-altitude zero-G plane pretend to be a spacecraft.
Okay, I'll just quickly say the fact that he's referring to it as a zero-G plane would indicate that G is a thing, which is gravity. So if it's possible to have a zero-G plane, the obvious inference is that gravity has to be a thing because it's the only way that that can possibly work. So if that's the case, how does gravity work on a flat Earth? It doesn't. It absolutely cannot. Because it would get stronger the further out you go, a whole load of issues. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Here we go.
This week we got Blue Origin and their participation in the space tourism charade.
There's a word, charade.
I'm not going to bore you with the takeoff footage, nothing exciting, nothing revealing there. But what we have got is hot off the press footage from inside the rocket, the juicy bits, the bits I wanted to see.
My mom said that I look Amish with my beard, by the way, which is kind of true because it's very much a chin beard.
So let's have a look.
For giving us your impressions, but let's see it with our own eyes. I'd like to roll the tape of what it was like in the crew capsule.
I'm just going to pause it there before the space pantomime begins.
There's another word, pantomime.
Any curvature we see here is optical and not physical. These guys have proven that before on their test runs, their successful test runs, mimicking what we're seeing here. And I'll show you that in a second. But also of note, the horizon which we're seeing here, let's choose the middle window. That horizon there which is appearing at eye level,
I'll come back to that.
according to the Globe Mathematics, that horizon should be over 120 miles below eye level. Something to think about.
Yeah, it is something to think about. Okay, so there's a few issues here straight off the bat. Number one, what altitude are they at this very moment in time? That's the first thing. So you would need to know that before you can calculate anything here. Number two, what height is the camera at inside the capsule? What level? So is it level? Is it pointing straight across? Is it looking down? Is it looking up? What's the optical length of the lens of the camera? There's a whole load of issues here. This is probably a wide angle lens, I would suggest. So it obviously is going to distort things. Nobody's denying that fact at all. As for the window itself, the window is about 3/4 of a meter at its widest, right? Which is really wide for a window of this type, a pressure window like this. So how are you supposed to judge curvature? And certainly how are you supposed to judge the height above sea level? So the drop off, as it were. How are you supposed to see that curvature through 3/4 of a meter of window? Like, you have this tiny little distance to measure the curvature of the whole Earth. How are you supposed to do that? Especially just with the naked eye. That's a ridiculous thing. That's a ridiculous statement. So yeah, the camera is obviously higher than the window, looking slightly downwards. So he says at eye level. Can you show us? Can you show us how that is eye level? what makes that eye level and not like, you know, a couple of inches below that? I don't understand how it follows that that's eye level. See, here's the thing. He never responds to any of these questions, and he doesn't need to, because he has his people that follow his channel that will believe everything he says no matter what. And they go, yeah, it is at eye level. They're never going to question it. When we question it, he never answers those questions because he feels like he doesn't have to. And maybe he doesn't, and that's fine. But I will still come here and prove him absolutely wrong every single time. No problem whatsoever. He always says things are scientifically impossible, gives absolutely no mathematical reasoning behind it. Nothing, not even mathematical, physics, anything, nothing whatsoever. Just makes loads of claims, as always. Same as Dubé. Anyway, let's move on.
But first, let me just show you that this curvature we see here is optical and not physical. Here I've blended an image from supposed space 66 miles up and an image from the ground from one of the successful launches of Blue Origin, mimicking the flight we're going to see very shortly. And the curvature we see, strangely enough, in space is exactly the same as the curvature at ground level, as I'll show you right now.
Before you even get into that, what's the optical length of the lens? What's the position of it? We don't know anything. We have none of the mathematical facts with which to be able to actually put together and make a factual let me start that sentence again, because that went completely off the fucking rails. There's no data here for us to work with. We cannot see the altitude here. We don't know what the camera is, what the focal length of the camera, whether the camera is level, whether it's on a gyroscope. We don't know anything. We have absolutely no data to go on here whatsoever. So just it looks like is not good enough. Just quite simply, it's not good enough.
Ground. Space.
Am I the only one here that sees the very obvious difference between where it is on the ground and where it is in space? What's his point?
Ground.
It's way higher up on the window. So that's space, which is, it comports with reality. The higher up you go, the further down the horizon will appear to be. And then the lower you are, the higher up the horizon appears to be. That's literally what we're seeing. Congratulations, you've just proved the Earth is a globe. Well done, bud. What were you trying to prove here? Oh, he's trying to say that the curvature, the left to right curvature across the window is the same. How much curvature would you expect to see at that height? First of all, if you can tell me that, that would be awesome. And how much curvature would you expect to see out of 0.75 meters of window? How much would you expect to see? We have a professor in the house over here, Professor Phil Bell. Professor Phil Bell, can you please help me with this one here, right? How much curvature at the apogee of this flight, right? So let's just say 60 miles up. How much curvature should we see from left to right across that window, which is 0.7 meters across? How much curvature should we expect to see? Not much. The curvature, I would say, would be negligible. You probably wouldn't be able to see it just through that, from that far back with the camera. If you were right up looking out the window, obviously your field of view is way wider, almost 180 degrees or whatever. But through that field of view, your field of vision is very narrow. Like, you can really not see very much at all.
They've already shown us here with their previous test runs that any curvature we're going to see.
Exactly, Simon Spencer, that was my point too. The very fact that the horizon optically dropped, like he literally showed a before and after of the horizon dropping, proves the globe. Like, well done, Leo, good job, bud.
Is optical.
Unreal.
And not physical. They've proven that with the same amount of curve at ground level as supposedly at 66 miles up.
So does he expect that at 66 miles up, that the appearance of the Earth would go from roughly that to that at 66 miles up? That is what you would see out the window, like a curve like that? How stupid do you have to be? That's a genuine question, by the way.
So we thank them in advance for that.
Okay, cool story, bro.
So knowing that any curve we're going to see is optical and not physical.
So there we go. Professor Phil Bell says almost impossible from one window. I would have thought the same thing, Phil, that it would be such a minute scale that it would be almost immeasurable at that distance from the window. If you're right up in the window like this, again, your field of view would be huge, so you'd be able to see much more. But even then, it wouldn't be massively apparent, especially from a camera inside the craft looking out through a tiny window. And when I say tiny, I mean, you know, compared to an open field of view. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyway, here we go.
And according to the globe maths, the horizon is supposedly over 120 miles below eye level. That only leaves us with one thing to enjoy. A bit of space propaganda pantomime.
Space propaganda pantomime. All right, so imagine this camera is at eye level. It's not quite, but imagine it is. Now what happens when I tilt the camera down? Am I going up? No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm sitting in the same place. Oh, am I coming back down? No, I'm not. The camera is. So the position of the camera is important. LEO, that camera is not a scientific instrument used to measure the shape of the Earth. It's a camera to show people floating around in a spacecraft. So again, I'm not moving here. It's the camera, believe it or not. Even though it might look like I'm moving, it's not me. It brings me back to that Father Ted scene. These cows are small, and those ones are far away. Hold on, I should have been big screen. Again, I'll just show you, just for you, Leo. Am I moving or is the camera moving? So I haven't moved. The camera position has. It doesn't mean I'm moving. So we don't know what the camera position is on that craft. Not at all. It's obviously a wide-angle optical camera used to capture images of people flying around in space, having the time of their lives. Mother of God. Anyway. Oh, Inquisitor Bacon got a bingo. Yeah, what does that mean? Timo Lynch makes a good point. He said it's optical, not physical. What does that mean? Like, we can have optical aberrations like you get in cameras and stuff like that, where we see things literally using our eyes that aren't actually there. And that isn't imagining things. It's effects on our optic nerve. So the optic nerve in my left eye is knackered. So sometimes I get random flashes of light that aren't actually there. It's just a manipulation of my optic nerve. But generally speaking, everything you see is physical. I mean, to some extent. But anyway, it makes no sense. Pex, I hear you're a racist now, father.
So take it away, guys.
Oh wow, oh wow, oh wow. That's incredible. To space. Unbelievable. Is it everything you thought it would be? Here, look. Oliver. Look at it just a little.
That's great!
Is it? I didn't think so. I noticed you're all clowning around here, putting on a show, but no one's actually looking out the window. If I was up there, I'd be looking out the window. I'd be face glued to the window.
Yeah, but that's because you do that anyway, even when you're on a bus, licking the window. Like, ugh. Look, if you're on a spacecraft floating around in space for the first time, as an 80-something-year-old lady or an 18-year-old boy, man, and, you know, Jeff Bezos and his brother, you're going to be floating around having fun. You're not going to be glued to the window. Why would you waste your time going to space to glue yourself to the window? You're in free fall for a couple of minutes, which gives you the apparent weightlessness, which is awesome, I would imagine. I've felt weightlessness a few times, and for that few seconds I've felt it, it's incredible. It really does feel amazing. But if you could prolong that for minutes, float around, have a good time, you would do that. They have plenty of time to look out the window on their way up, and they have plenty of time to look out the window on their way back, even at the altitude high enough to still see the darkness of space and the curvature of the Earth. That is literally why the craft was designed the way it was. It was designed with large windows with the seats to the side so that people could literally look out the whole way up, then clip out of their seats, float around and have some fun, clip back into their seats, and then watch the whole way down. That was literally the whole point of spending so much money designing these amazing windows. That was the whole purpose of it. Oh, man. Yeah, exactly. Mr. 42 says, had they looked out the window, he would have said, oh, well, how come they're not floating around? Absolute tush.
Looking around, having a good old gander. But this seems like it's all a show, a game. Who would have thought?
Just having a great time in space. Like, what's wrong with that? These people have no concept of fun. Did you ever notice that? Like, flat earthers in general have no concept. They have no sense of humor. First and foremost, zero sense of humor. They're ridiculously serious about everything. And then they have no sense of just fun. Like whenever I've had Nathan Thompson on the show or any of those people, it's been like flogging a dead horse. You make an obvious sarcastic joke that everyone finds funny and they take it like literally seriously. Like they're like, that's not what I said, bro. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm fucking with you. Have you ever had like older brothers or older cousins or something that pick on you and fuck around with you? That's, you know what I mean? They have no concept of those jokes, none whatsoever. The only flat earther, that I'm aware of, the only flat earther that I've chatted with, that I've been able to have an actual fun, clever, funny conversation with is Effed Up World. And he's not even really a flat earther. But he was a lot of fun. But yeah, they're just painfully boring people. Sophocles K says, is it me or Leo's voice is even more annoying than Eric's? Ooh. I would probably say it is still Eric DeBay who is the more irritatingly voiced one. They're both annoying, don't get me wrong. I think number one most irritating voice in Flat Earthers is probably Nathan Thompson, followed by Eric DeBay, followed by Daniel Pratt, followed by Oakley, and then Leo. That would be my orders in terms of who I think is the worst. I think Nathan Thompson has single-handedly created the most irritating voice on the face of the round earth. It is painful. Anyway, let's move on.
Move your head a little while I flash.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Mom! I love it.
Oh, wow.
I'm not impressed at all. I know the curvature's optical. All I've seen is a bunch of clowns jumping around, almost like on a propaganda shoot. A publicity.
What? Almost like on a propaganda shoot. Okay. Show me a propaganda shoot then, and tell me how this is like one. What is a propaganda shoot? I've seen some propaganda shoots from a certain time in the 1940s where a certain particular group of people were particularly good at propaganda shoots, and it didn't look anything like this. That's all I can say.
Shot. Oh, hang on a minute here. You're pushing the space tourism charade, which is out of reach for most anyway. And of course it pushes the globe lie.
Oh, so they've gone to all this trouble to push the globe lie. So NASA, because let's face it, that's who you blame for everything, decided that what they would do, I just realized that you guys couldn't see the screen, doesn't really matter. NASA has decided now to put it all into the hands of private companies and risk the exposure of the flat earth truth. That doesn't seem logical to me at all, especially if none of this is actually real and they didn't require the billions of dollars of private companies funding. You know what I mean? So, hey, stop crying about the video, for Christ's sake. He had it paused while he was talking, so you couldn't see anything anyway. Anyway, let's go back to it. Here we go.
Which is scientifically impossible anyway, I may add.
What was this? What did he say was scientifically impossible?
Which is out of reach for most anyway. And of course it pushes the globe lie, which is scientifically impossible anyway, I may add.
All right, well, how about this then? I challenge you to give me 3 reasons. That's all. 3 reasons. We can give you millions of reasons why the globe absolutely is scientifically possible, probable, and definite. We can do that. Just over and over again. Really, it's ad nauseum at this point. So I would challenge you to give me 3 scientific reasons. Just 3. Not anything to do with NASA. None of that. Not any conspiratorial stuff. Give me 3 scientific reasons why the Earth is scientifically impossible, as you always claim it is, but never back it up. I'll be waiting, and I think I'll be waiting a long time. I will not hold my breath.
Look at the blackness of space. Here, catch.
Still no one's looking out the window. Now we're getting the...
So Forrest Pfeiffer makes point, says NASA has always used private contractors. I'm aware of that, obviously. But what I mean is that Flat Earthers claim that NASA has complete control over everything. And my point is that why would they allow private companies to go and investigate space on their own? Basically, that's what I mean. So like you have the three big ones right now being Blue Origin, Virgin, and SpaceX. Why would they allow them to go and fly up to space if there was a risk that they could potentially release the flat Earth truth? So yeah, no, I know they always use private contractors. Of course they did. That's one of the reasons why the space shuttle failed as a concept, because of the cost of bringing in all of the different parts from different areas of the United States. The whole idea of reusability just pretty much went out the window. That's not the only reason. I mean, there's loads of reasons why the space shuttle was not as viable as it was once thought. But it was a good proof of concept, good early proof of concept for reusability. And the fact that reusability is ultimately what will allow us to kind of get space flight to be cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. I think it was Elon Musk who was saying that, you know, if you could only fly an airplane once and then have to discard it, nobody would be flying airplanes. And it's absolutely true. But yeah, so yeah, they claim that NASA has complete control over everything. Why would they risk allowing private contractors to be the ones to actually fly their own craft to space? Silly.
Party tricks from the space shuttle program.
Yeah, Dingman Balls. Ready? Woohoo! Here it comes. Yeah, you just have to wait for it. Who wants a Skittle?
Oh, yeah. Sure one.
With your arm, and I'm going to pull you down. All right, see if you can catch this in your mouth. Yeah!
This is how desperate it's got for these people, and no doubt people will come and defend this.
Yes, they will. I'm right here. It's not even really about defending it. It's about just kind of looking at reality. And yeah, Forrest Pfeiffer is absolutely right. He said, but they're all in on it, obviously. Yeah, of course. All the millions of people, this is what you have to believe to be a flat earther. That all of the millions of people, literally millions of people who've worked in the aeronautical sphere, sorry, don't want to trigger any flat earthers by using the word sphere, but absolutely every one of them is a liar. Everyone's in on it, and not a single person left the cat out of the bag with any actual evidence, of course. You always get these fake, I got an email from NASA architect, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. No, you didn't. Well, let me draw your attention, Mr. What's Leo's real name? Adam, is it? Let me draw your attention to these two persons here on the right-hand side of the screen. Now, I'm no human behavioral expert, but I would say that looks like two individuals looking out the window. The very thing that you claimed 30 seconds ago, nobody was doing. And there you have it. Awkward. Yeah. So were you lying or were you just mistaken? I'm gonna go with mistaken. Okay, moving on.
Videos will be made, and clearly it's ridiculous, just like the globe at this point in time. Sorry, you're free to believe whatever you want, but yeah, the days of any kind of discussion about the subject of the shape of the earth are long gone.
I agree with you 100%. The days of any kind of scientific discussion about the shape of the earth are long gone. And I specified scientific discussion there because there is nothing scientific about what you people believe. It's as simple as that. You have this unbelievably massive conspiracy that you have to overcome for your belief system to be true. You're talking about millions of people in hundreds of countries, thousands of companies, all have to be lying. They all have to have been able to keep it secret, and a whole list of other things that are issues with that. Then on top of that, the whole scientific community that deals with physics are all wrong and lying, or both. So there's all those people, again, likely millions, literally millions of people throughout history. All of the scientific experiments that have been done here on Earth to prove the shape of the Earth for the last few millennia, all either lying, wrong, or in on it. And you're the only group of people that know everything. This tiny group of, and I mean no disrespect, uneducated people who have this crazy viewpoint. You're all right and everybody else is wrong. Just think about that for a minute. Now, that's not an argument from popularity, not at all, because when something's a demonstrable fact and you're the only one that says, no, it's not. If I say to you, that's a comb, and 100 people walk in that door right there, they'd struggle because it's quite a small room, but 100 people walk in that door and they say, yep, that's a comb. And then you go, well, I know the truth. I know the real truth of the comb lie. That's not a comb at all. It's a spaceship or whatever. Yeah, you're wrong. Everybody else is right. You're wrong. Sorry, bud. Anyway, moving on.
Yet alone people thinking there's a debate. Have a word with yourself, will ya?
How about this word? Globe. There is no debate. You're right. There is no debate anymore. The evidence is all out there. But you just choose to ignore it. Fingers in ears, and that's it. La 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 la.
Clearly, look at it. Look at the state of it.
Well done. Here, toss me one. Let me
Comment, right? He says clearly, look, what the fuck? Why is he pausing? He says clearly, look at the state of it. Point out what you're talking about. What are you talking about? The state of what? What is wrong with this image? Specifically, I want literal answers to that question. Show me specifically what is wrong with this video that will prove to you that it's not true. And those people are still looking out the window.
Here, toss me one. Let me try.
Here it goes. No, sorry, mid fast.
Here, try again.
I'd love to know how all these things are flying in straight lines directly across the craft with absolutely no dip whatsoever in a parabolic shape. Almost like they're in free fall and experiencing microgravity.
I can't get it up.
I got you. Oh, wow. No,
Awesome.
he coming. Oh.
You're so good.
Still no one's looked out the window. It's all a big show.
Nobody's looking out the window. All right? You heard that clearly. Definitely, he said nobody is looking out the window. Now, what are those two people on the right-hand side doing? An arm around one, looking out the window.
Here it goes.
And again, why would you be looking out the window if you can float around and feel like you're flying for a very short period of time? You're going to use that time. You have all the time in the world, literally. Well, not literally. Actually, that's completely the opposite of literally. You don't have all the time in the world. You have a few minutes of this awesome ride up to space to look out and see the curvature of the Earth. Look at, I can see my house from here, etc., etc. And the same on the way down.
No, sorry, mid fast.
Here, try again.
I can't get it up.
I got you. Oh, wow. No,
Awesome.
he coming. Oh.
You're so good.
Still no one's looked out the window. It's all a big show.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Finally, someone's looking out the window. Getting tired from all that performing, no doubt.
This is incredible. Enjoy
Oh,
that.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, wow.
Man, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
different, isn't it?
It's a little different.
Oh, it's almost like he's looking out the window.
I cannot.
Oh, wow. Guys, take a moment to look outside.
Wonderful.
He just said take a moment to look outside. Because yeah, they are flying around. It's like you got this opportunity now while you're floating around in space, look out the window for the first time. It's pretty amazing. Absolutely. But I think the feeling of being able to fly is probably trumps looking out the window somewhat.
I cannot.
Oh, wow. Guys, take a moment to look outside.
Wonderful.
Woo! So we had a curve that was optical.
What do you mean a curve that was optical? Anyway, moving on.
A horizon that should have been 120 miles below eye level.
And can you show us any data to say that that's not the case? Other than it looks that way because I say so.
And a load of space shuttle party tricks chucked in.
Space shuttle party tricks. I assume he means throwing around the ball and the Skittles and stuff like that. Again, you're experiencing weightlessness for the first time. Being able to make things float is well, you're not making it float, but you know what I mean? Being able to make something, when I say make, you know what I mean? Not actually make, but putting something in front of your face, taking your hand away and it floating is a probably pretty epic thing to behold. And you can do this yourself. That's the funny thing. They say you can't do any of this yourself. You can go on a parabolic fucking plane, whatever they're called, Vomit Comet. You can go on one of those drop zone. That's the zero G thing that I went on and experienced zero gravity for about 3 seconds or something like that. You can make, we did it with like Tic Tacs and stuff. You can make it float in front of your face. It's pretty cool.
Woo! Sorry, not impressed. Clearly ridiculous, just like the globe.
Prove it. Show us what was ridiculous. What about the globe is ridiculous?
The game's up, lads.
So he's just saying things, right? He's not, like, as always, Level Earth Observer, Eric Dubay, all these people, they just say things. They don't actually back anything up. Not even do they not back it up. They don't even say things that make any sense. So it's like, goes back to that whole thing. That's not right. That's not even wrong, because you're just in a totally different ballpark. It's like, oh, it's absolutely tush. It's ridiculous pantomime. Okay, why? Show us why. What specifically is wrong with this? And they never can. They never can point at anything scientific to say that this is wrong. This is not the way it should look. Show us one thing and explain how it should look, and then we can talk about it. But no, they never do. They never, ever, ever do. And it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny, really. But I gotta say, Leo, I am disappointed in you, sir. Usually, I expect a little bit more. You seem to be able to pick these tiny little things, usually bullshit that I pull apart limb from limb. But honestly, like, you usually are able to pick a lot more. It just seems like you weren't able to find a whole lot here, other than your perception of what they should have been doing behaviorally. You assume that they should be sitting there looking out the window just because you're a mouth breather and you would have done that. Just because you would do it doesn't mean that they would. You also said that they didn't look out the window, but they did. They did look out the window loads of times. It's literally on video. Not to mention they get to look out the window the whole way up and the whole way back down. So that's nonsense. Oh yeah, Tusk, I noticed that. He didn't say, oh dear. That's because I feel like he didn't buy his own bullshit in this one. Genuinely. I think he felt compelled to make this video because he had bigged himself up big time over it. And he literally had nothing to say other than, I think they should be looking out the window. That's what I think. They should be looking out the window. Oh, so what? Now, Flat Earth confirmed then. Way to go, bud. Good job. That's literally all he had. I think they should be looking out the window. That's all I'm saying. Okay, cool. What else did he say? Oh, it looks like the horizon isn't low enough for some shit. It's like, okay, well, we literally know nothing about the camera, its position or anything. So we don't really have anything to go with there. So cool story, bro. Yeah, really, to quote you, Level Earth Observer, really, really disappointed. Absolute tosh. Let's have a look at the comment section, because I found that the comment section of these Flat Earth videos are usually pretty sweet. Let me just grab my glasses. Boom. That's the magic glasses sound. All right, let's have a look at the, as I say, the comment section of these are usually pretty funny. So let's, I might need to just shift it over a touch. Which one is it? This one? And we can, oh wait, yeah, like that. There we go. I'll give you a like just for trying. Well done, buddy. There you go. Good job. Good job. Okay, let's have a read of the comments. So anybody that's listening and not watching, just so you know what's happening, I'm just reading the comments here. All right, first up is Gaz Martin Paddyham Lanks. Okay, I think that's Lancashire. Anyway, says, you have to wait for the ... and then near the end, wait, incoming. Why is that? And why is Branson up there sucking helium by the sounds of it? What a shambles. Branson? Branson wasn't in this. Wow. Smooth brain. Branson had nothing to do with this flight. This was a different dude. Different billionaire. Good try, though. Good attempt. I'm going to give them likes for attempts. Actually, no, fuck that. I'm not giving him any extra likes or anything like that. They're lined up like a bunch of cripples and old folks watching Mailbag on the telly. Okay. British Empires says, let's spend billions to throw Skittles at each other. Dear, oh dear. Okay. They didn't spend billions to throw Skittles at each other. This is this very simplistic worldview of the flat earther that is, they did this thing up there, so therefore the whole purpose of the mission was that. They threw a Skittle, so therefore the whole purpose of the mission was spend billions of dollars to throw a Skittle. No, there's also the advancement in technology that comes from this. It's future applications, etc. So no, it's a stupid comment. No Fanfare says they had to have a chuck around of the orange equals 33 ball. I'm assuming that's some kind of numerology bullshit. My guess as to why they would use an orange ball is because it would be more visible than a white ping pong ball, which would make perfect sense. But, you know, look who we're talking to here. MW, laugh, react, laugh, react, laugh, react. The young guy's dad paid big money for this Disneyland trip. I actually have no idea who paid for his ticket. I don't know if it was it his dad was supposed to go, or was it somebody else? I'm actually not sure. I'm not 100% sure. Not that it really matters. I mean, somebody paid a lot of money for that ticket. Yeah, I agree with you there. Cool. Doesn't prove or disprove anything other than somebody paid a load of money to be up there. It's pretty cool. Taboo Conspiracy says, no one would act like that. Throwing Skittles? Seriously. All fake with a set on a zero-G plane. Have you ever seen what a zero-G plane looks like and acts like? It's quite a bit different to that, considering the parabolas on a zero-G plane, as in the time that it spends in that drop, where you feel weightlessness, is about 30 seconds. This was about 10 times longer. So, oh wait, no, not this one. It would have been a fair bit longer, but not anything that a zero-G plane could do. In order for a zero-G plane to do that, it would need to be free-falling at a tremendous speed. I sounded like Donald Trump there. Tremendous. It would need to be free-falling, okay, at a tremendous speed. The biggest speed, the fastest speed maybe ever. But anyway, so it would need to be free-falling really fast for a really long time. And there's a big problem there, because usually what happens in that scenario is the nose of the plane hits a thing we call the planet. And unfortunately, that usually doesn't end up being a very good time for the passengers on board. So no, it's not a zero-G plane. And again, it goes back to the earlier point that the inference of it being a zero-G plane would indicate that G, i.e. gravity, would need to be a thing. And in order for G, as in gravity, to be a thing, then the Earth would need to be a globe. At the very least, gravity has to exist in order for that to work. Actually, here's a challenge, Taboo Conspiracy. I've heard your name, I've heard your channel name a few times. I've never actually watched anything of you that I'm aware of. I mean, maybe I have, but I'm not sure. I challenge you to please explain how a zero-G plane works if gravity doesn't exist. I'll wait for your response. Beyond Infinite Planes says, they say the horizon dropped 3 degrees at higher altitude. Explain why the horizon stays the same from 154 to 2 minutes. Not to mention its center cuts the window regardless of altitude. All right, let's have a look.
Ground. Space.
If you can't see that there is a massive difference between where the horizon appears there versus where the horizon appears there in the window, that literal extra third of the window that is full on the ground that isn't full in space, not to mention the position of the camera is obviously very different too, which would exacerbate it, make that even more. But seriously, a whole third of the window is full here that isn't full there. If you can't see that, what was your name? Hold on, what was your name? Beyond the Infinite Planes, you need to get yourself on a bus, go straight to Specsavers and get yourself a pair of these. I did it and it made my life a whole lot better. I can see very obvious things like that. Good attempt. Spherical Cow. Okay. Sounds like my ex-girlfriend. Spherical Cow says, what a bunch of clowns. My guess is those aren't even windows. They're screens. Ah. Why would they need screens? They could just spray them green like the green screen I use and use green screens. Why would they need to actually put screens in? That's a stupid idea. Not to mention, do you see the Earth spinning below? Oh, for fuck's sakes. All right. Oh my God. What a stupid comment. I'm sorry. Right? They say there's no stupid questions, but all right. Let's break this one down. This is going to be the subject of a video later. I can feel it coming. Okay, so my guess is those aren't even windows, those are scenes. Okay, so you said that it's a guess. We'll just ignore it because it's obviously a window. There's ways that you can prove it. There's ways that you can test it, position of the sun, etc. Also, if you watch the whole video of the launch, you can literally see them inside waving out before they launch. So no, it's not a screen. But okay, you did, to be fair to you, you did say that it was a guess. So I won't beat you up too much for that. Nell C says, don't fat shame your ex. I didn't fat shame anybody. When did I fat shame anybody? Anyway, so let's see here. So then he moves on to say, not to mention, do you see the Earth spinning below? Would you expect to see the Earth spinning below? Well, considering the flight lasted, let's just make this simple and say the flight lasted 10 minutes, right? That would mean that if they were precisely on the horizon, and let's say we suspend reality and we suspend angular momentum, we suspend all of physics just for a minute, and imagine they're just hovering above us without the input of the conservation of momentum. Let's say that they're somehow void of that impact, right? And they're hovering over the horizon for, let's even give it 10 minutes. That would mean that the Earth will have traveled 1/6 of a degree. 1/6 of a degree. That is not a lot. 1/6 of a degree. So, is that right? Hold on. So, hold on. No, it would be even less than that. Holy shit. No, yeah, no, that's right. It would be 1/6 of one. Hold on. Yeah, it would be 1/6 of a degree, right? No, hold on. I'm all over the place here. It would be, hold on. So for 10, oh no, I think I'm calculating it for 1 minute if they're up there for 6 minutes. I need some help here. Professor Phil Bell. How much would the Earth travel? How much would the Earth travel in that time? How many degrees, Phil Bell? Hold on, I can work this out. So it's 15 degrees per hour. So they're up there for 10 minutes. All right, it's mathematics time. Let's do this, folks. All right, so I need a calculator. All right, I'm not going to look. So Phil Bell's probably going to tell me the answer here. I'm not going to look, and I'm going to figure this out for myself. And if my dumbass can do it, Flurf, you can do it. Right, so there is how many degrees per hour drift, folks? The Earth goes around at, what, 60 degrees per hour, right? Wait, no, hold on. 15 degrees per hour. 15 degrees in 60 minutes. That's an hour. Sorry. My brain's all over the shop. 15 degrees per hour. And I know what you're all going to say in the side chat. So if it's 15 degrees per hour divided by 6, because we're giving it 10 minutes, then they would notice a 2.5 degree change in the position of the Earth. 2.5 degree change in the position of the Earth. And that's only if you suspend reality and the effects of physics and imagine that they're hovering there without the input of the conservation of momentum from them traveling along with the Earth. So even if we were to ignore that, they would have only moved 2.5 degrees, the Earth below them, which is a significant physical difference. But of course, we're not actually defying the laws of physics here. I mean, we know conservation of momentum works. In fact, without it, we wouldn't be able to pretty much do anything. Our brains wouldn't be able to figure out anything. Maybe that's what's wrong with you guys. I'm not really sure. So I figured that out on my own. I think that's right. Is that right, Phil? Yeah, 2.5 degrees, right? There you go. Thanks, Bob. So 2.5 degrees in the 10 minutes that they'd be up there. That's assuming they were up there for 10 minutes, which they weren't, but we're just assuming they were. So please explain to me what you would expect to see out the window at that point, considering, again, we know that they are traveling along with the Earth at that same velocity. And again, the effects of physics doesn't just stop. It's not how that works. Anyway, I think I might have missed one super chat up further, did I? Oh yeah, I did. Mr. 42 said for €2, thank you so much. I don't know entirely exactly what's going on. Neither do I. All right, neither do I. This guy is he's fluent in gibberish. So it's not easy. But thank you so much for the super chat. We'll try get to the bottom of this. We'll try to figure this out. And for 5 United States of America dollars, my friend Fohammer says, Demon, practice safe sex and go fuck yourself. Glad you got remonetized, buddy. Can't wait to ride with you when you get here. Thank you so much, Fo. Yeah, I'm super excited, man. I'm just about to insure my motorcycle back home in Ireland so that when I go home, I'll be able to take it out for a brap. And I am so excited. I absolutely can't wait. If I see more hashtag Irish Demons Can't Math in the side chat, I'll be really, really pissed. But yeah, anyway. So Professor Phil Bell says it's irrelevant. M1v1 equals M2v2 is a real thing. That's exactly what I was thinking, Phil. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking without having to Google it. Absolutely, definitely not Googling it as we speak. I would never do such a thing. Because I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what this thing that I definitely didn't Google is. And even if I did Google it, somebody who in my position would maybe Google it would still not understand what that means. But thankfully, I'm not one of those people, Phil. Because you and I both know that I know what we're talking about. Anyway. Let me see here. God damn it. I can math. It just takes time. So anyway, yeah. So that's that part of the question. What's the next part? He says, not to mention, do you see the Earth spinning below? Then he says, where did they launch and where did they land? So they launched in West Texas and they landed not very far away from where they launched. Coriolis, anyone? Why would Coriolis come to that? I tell you what you do, Spherical Cow. I would say the best thing you can do is go make a video. Tell us specifically what we should expect to see in terms of Earth rotation and Coriolis. You go make a prediction. That seems to be something that flat earthers are completely incapable of doing. I will then look at that prediction. I will get confused by it, and I will then refer to Professor Phil Bell, PhD Tony, Team Skeptic, or a few others. They will explain it to me, and I'll break it down, and I'll try to figure it out. And once I have, then I'll respond. I don't know why I wasted that whole minute saying that, because it's never going to happen. Anyway, Bushwhacking History in Buffalo says, keep hammering these psychopaths, brova. Globe is cooked. They always like to say, like, oh man, the globe is so cooked, man. The globe is fucked, man. It's like, what? Why are you stupid? How is the globe? What are you talking about? What happened that ruined the globe? If you could show me that, I'd be impressed. No, nothing. You're full of shit. Frank Perry, my old buddy, it's great to see you, man. For $5 says, how is it every flurf knows someone who tells them the truth and how it's a cover-up, and not one of the people have come forward in public for those mad Skrillas? I don't understand that either, Frank. Here's the thing. You're absolutely right. You're talking about millions upon millions upon millions. Oh my God, I'm doing Donald Trump again. Millions and billions and billions and millions of people all over the world and in this beautiful country would have to be lying. They're telling lies, fake news. So like, yeah, it would literally be millions of people who would have to have kept this secret for so long and not said a word. So there you go. Andy Manser says, I'm cooked. It's so hot in the UK right now. Yeah, I heard it's like 30 degrees. That's even hot for Western Australia. 30 degrees is pretty hot. That's 30 degrees real temperature, folks, not Merca temperature. Dumb Jezza reckons it's a top-notch, but well, I think it's tremendous. Okay, absolutely tremendous. Everybody says it. That my impression is tremendous. Yeah, White Mage says it sounds too much like Trump. Yeah, I get that a lot. And you know, I do enjoy doing his voice because it's a fun one to do. And sometimes I do it on the phone. Or like I will do it like at the drive-through Like I'll say, can I please have the best coffee? It's got to be the best. No other coffee will do. Nobody does coffee better than you guys. And I need a biscotti. The biggest biscotti. And then be like, we've only got one size of biscotti. I don't care. As long as it's the best biscotti. It's better than Joe Biden's biscotti. It's good enough for me. It's good enough for Donald J. Trump. Okay? And people get a really good kick out of it. Because even if people don't like him or whatever, they love the voice because it's a fun voice to do, you know. And so yeah, I do it all the time. It gives people a smile, it gives people a laugh. And like for example, we were in the store, this is going back maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and there was a couple of people in the line, and they were talking about something about Donald Trump. I don't actually know what they were talking about, but they mentioned his name, and I was like, did I hear somebody talking about me? And they kind of went like that, like as if I was like, it doesn't sound that close, but like I was like, was somebody talking about me over here? I thought I heard somebody mention Donald J. Trump. That's me. And like it got a laugh in the store, people smiling. It was a good time. It's a good time. And I got a subscriber out of that. She messaged me she commented the other day. But anyway, so let me see here. All right, so let's have a look back at the side chat. Oh, cute. Sarah Cook says, oh, cute. Oh, a cute Hollywood crew. Okay. See, that's a silly response, okay? Because we know who 3 of these people are in depth, right? So we know who the Bezos brothers are, and we know who Wally is. She's a hero of aeronautics. She's one of the world's most famous flight instructors. She's an incredible lady. So we know who she is. So like, no, they're not actors. Like we literally know who this 83-year-old superstar in the world of aeronautics is. So anyway, Lazu 2000 says the 4 beeps at the very end of the clip. The guy looking out the window looks to his left like, oh shit, methinks, that's all one word by the way, methinks that was the warning buzzer for the end of Freefall. Well, you thinks correctly. That's probably what it was. They actually talked about that prior to the launch. They were talking about how they get a lady comes on and goes 1 minute warning, which tells them they have 1 minute left of Freefall before they have to get into their chairs, into their seats, I should say. And yeah, there's probably a beep. Let's have a listen.
Love it. I love it.
Oh, wow.
Man, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
different, isn't it?
It's a little different. I cannot.
Oh, wow. Guys, take a moment to look outside.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so it's like beep, beep, beep. And then he kind of goes like that and just say, okay, that's probably our cue. If you actually listen to what he says, which of course a flat earther will never actually do, but if you actually listen to what he says, he tells them, he's like, come on guys, come quick, look out the window, as if to say, you know, you've got a couple of minutes, you got a little bit of time left to go. They had already received the 1 minute warning at this point, if you watch the full video. And yeah, so it goes like beep, 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 which is like probably their final warning to start getting ready to get into their seats. Okay, what's the problem with that? Why would that be an issue? Anyway, so yeah, glad we cleared that up, I guess. Jim, I love how they hear these tiny little things in a video and they think, I know what that is. And then it's like, okay, well, that could be literally anything. Anyway, so let's see. Jim Lotus says, those liars, shame on them all. Okay. Okay. All right then. Eyes Open. I love how they have these, like, all of these channels and stuff. They have these names, like, it's like, you know, Truth, Eyes Open Seeker. And it's like, you're so lame. Like, you think you're so clever with your name and stuff, but you're just not. Professor Phil Bell says, what number comes after 2? That would be 3. I know what you were trying to do, Phil. Good try. Oh, well, actually, maybe it's 2.1 technically a different number. I don't know. Anyway, Eyes Open says, once in a lifetime opportunity and not one of them takes a camera. Yeah, why would they? There's high definition cameras all around the craft, inside and out. You can literally see them in the video. We just seen one angle in that video, but you can actually see the other cameras recording. There's cameras outside the spacecraft recording the ground and the launch and all the rest of it. Then there's also cameras on the ground recording them go to space. Why would you need your iPhone or a GoPro while you're on a craft that is surrounded inside and out by cameras? Why would you bother? I would rather just enjoy the couple of minutes of free fall that you get to experience. Chev4206, that person is banned from my channel because of something that he said. I can't remember what it was. And I don't ban people lightly. You guys know that. It was something horrifying as far as I remember. Anyway, at least I think that's who it was. Curvature and brainless actors aside, can anyone see why this is fake? Okay, enlighten us. Octical says the Abuela saying she loves it. Abuela, I guess that is. The Abuela saying she loves it is clearly dubbed. That's the no, I'm not going to read that. That's disgusting, man. That's a horrible fucking thing to say about, you know, no matter who she is. That's somebody's grandma. Like that's an 80-year-old lady, dude. Stop acting like such a dick. Real eyes, realize, real lies. Wow. Words. Good job, I guess. Anyway, Caleb Skaggs says, if the earth is flat, how did Bezos go to space? How did Elon Musk launch a Tesla to space? How did Anakin Skywalker go from one planet or the other? I feel like that's a loaded question. Laura Williams says, blackness of space. I watched and there was never any darkness. Weren't they already coming down as fast as they went up? There was no time for shenanigans. Say what? What? So there was no blackness. Okay. Take a look at the screen there. Look at Jeff. I think that's Jeff. Look at his head. Look directly above that. That is literally the blackness of space. I'm sure we'll eventually see other angles of this, but anyway. And the other thing he said was that they came down as fast as they went up. So no time for shenanigans. Do you not know how free fall works? That's literally what this is. So they go up. They're under acceleration, and then the engine cuts off. The capsule separates, and it coasts upwards. As it's coasting upwards, the people inside the craft and the craft itself are moving at the same speed. So essentially, they cancel the same velocity. So they cancel each other out, essentially, which simulates kind of that free fall, but it's in the opposite direction. And then when they hit zero in terms of miles per hour, they immediately come right back down. There is no hang time. They immediately start coming back down, in which case they're falling towards the earth, the craft and them at the exact same velocity. So again, they experience weightlessness. It's exactly how a zero-G plane works. It's why when you're driving along in your car at 60 miles an hour and you hit a bump down like that, you feel like you're lifting up. It's why if you've ever been in a light aircraft or a glider and you push down on the stick, you feel like you're coming up in the seat. Or a roller coaster, when you go up to the top and you feel like you're floating, and then you come down and you still feel like you're floating. And then you hit the bottom and your acceleration changes. That's how it works. That's a fairly... It's not even a question. She made a statement. And weren't they already coming down as fast as they went up? So she says there's no time for shenanigans. So frankly, you're wrong. Misunderstood. But the smugness of saying, there's no way they could have done it because of this. It's like, well, no, you're entirely wrong. But okay, nice try. Kyle Love says, and I used to be this gullible. Lol, I'm happy I've woken up. Well, he says I'm happy I've waken up. But yeah, I used to be this gullible. You are that gullible if you believe the earth is flat. Anyway, Suzanne Dawson says, that thing is Osiris's missing bit. I assume that is a penis joke. James Mann said, just like the old zero-G rides in planes, no one was looking out the window. They were just enjoying the weightlessness. I would probably not look out the window. I'd be doing the looking while the plane was gaining altitude. However, if I was supposedly this high about Earth, I'd be looking, floating over to look out the windows in every direction to see just how far I could see. Yeah, that's a fair enough point, James Mann. I can't say how I would react in that situation. I can't tell you if I would be trying to float around, look out the window, or try to do donuts or backflips. I don't know. I really don't know. I just realized that my face is probably blocked by the Irish Demon logo, right? So I'll just stick myself up here in this corner instead. That looks kind of silly. But anyway, back to the questions. Alrighty. So Ethereal Sky says, ah, yes, wasting millions for Skittles. Definitely something to be proud of. Again, the simplistic mind of somebody who thinks that that's literally the whole purpose of this flight. It's like a couple of seconds of the flight, and it's just a bit of fun. Something, again, the flat earthers seem to be incapable of. Like Elon Musk sending his Tesla into space. There was two choices. Either A, send up a simulated weight, which is usually just a big block of metal, or do something really, really, really cool and send a Tesla up. Obviously, you're going to do the Tesla. That's the cool way of doing it. They didn't spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to build a Falcon 9 Heavy to put a Tesla into multiplanetary orbit. That wasn't the purpose of building it. That was a emergent factor of it, basically. But anyway, Rick Montgomery says, Leo, you're so salty. I love it. I just can't stand it. I just can't stand it, can you? The pain and torment in your mind is off the charts. Every salty video you post makes me smile a little more. Rick, you're getting a like, my friend. Josh Jackson says, someone has nothing better to do than make claims with no evidence. Josh Jackson, tip of the hat, sir. Senelilion, anyway, says, we experience, I'm not going to read all that. Fucking nice essay. Anyway, Pat Dell says, they really taken a piss. How on earth people believe them? Cool story, bro. Show me evidence of why there's a problem with it, and I'll gladly genuinely look at it too. I'm not trying to be mean here. I will literally look at it. Mac Millions says, looks like a shoddy caravan. I would be absolutely glued to the window. Pure BS. Again, to be fair, much like a small dog, you'd probably be glued to the window in a taxi. So that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Edwin Decker says, probably soon some space tourism rocket will explode, and that'll be why they can't continue sending regular Masons into parabolic high altitude flight. So sadly, there's already been a few space disasters, of course, but recently enough, one of the Virgin Galactic spaceship prototypes had an unfortunate accident upon re-entry, where one of the pilots, I think, released the feathers too quickly, and at supersonic speeds, obviously, it broke up immediately and resulted in the loss of the craft and the loss of one of the crew. The fact that the second crew member managed to get back alive is incredible. And that didn't stop it. That's unfortunately, that's part of exploration. Many people died exploring the world. You know, the Polynesian islanders went from island to island to island. Some of them would have been lost. The people who went to discover the new world, a lot of them were lost. It's part of it. People who climb Everest have to walk past the bodies of their fallen predecessors every single day. So, you know, that's a part of exploration. People will be lost. It's a sad reality of it. But that's just life. That's the way it is. And I hope that not too many more, but I know it will happen. There's no doubt. Supermastix says, thanks in advance for the fake curve confirmation lol. This is ridiculous, as usual, from these folks. Thank you for the obvious. Okay, if it's that obvious, obviously I'm missing something, so please point it out to me. Show me what's so obviously wrong. Dave Anderson says they can glue their faces to the window the whole way up and the rest of the way down when you have only 3 minutes of free fall. I saw this comment earlier, actually. Yeah, I gave it a like already. That's a really good point, Dave. That's similar to what I was saying. Filmed in the ISS studio. Prove it. Show us how that is the case. Joe Angeloni says, I was definitely waiting for this assertion on the matter to be released. Fluff. Awesome. Okay. I don't really get that. Anyway. Pro Alpha 1 Constitution. Oh god. I can only imagine what kind of content this guy's got. Give me 1 sec. I need to take it off the screen before I click on it, just in case. You guys know how it is. It's mostly workout stuff and flat earth stuff. Okay, fair enough. I was assuming he'd be one of those crazy constitutionalist guy. Take care, Fallhammer. You have a good day, my friend. Talk to you soon, man. All right, the Flat Earth Warriors says still a virgin. Okay. I like again, like I mean, you know, they think they're so funny, but it's really bland. Like it has no comedic value whatsoever. Oh, this guy's got a pretty big channel. I'll have fun with that later. That's for damn sure. Snowbirds says wieners in Narnia. I wonder why there's no inside footage of takeoff, mid-flight, descent, landing. Only footage from Narnia. We would have seen the same curved horizon at ground level, just like the test, but still the horizon is not Earth curve. What? Okay. I don't know if there's a video yet of the full footage from start to finish. I would also love to see that. Snowbirds. I would genuinely. I would love to see it leaving the ground and a film of it the whole way up. That would be awesome. I agree with you 100%. So let's hope together for different reasons, obviously, but yeah, hopefully that we will get to see that. Neol Adams says you can tell they are in free fall. Look at the horizon rising through the video. Just another 0G flight. Yeah, they are in free fall. We know that. That is exactly what was meant to happen. Okay. That's why they said they would be weightless for 3 minutes. If you're in space with real zero gravity, why not stay for 15, 20, or 30 minutes in 0G? Oh, man. Oh, you poor little thing. You sweet summer child, you. Are you new here? Are you new to the flat earth? Are you new to the internet? Oh, Jesus, Murphy. Okay, look, this guy thinks that once you pass the Kármán line that you just start floating for no reason. So once, Jesus. Okay, once you get past the Kármán line, the effects of Earth's gravity don't immediately stop, okay? It's still pulling you directly down at nearly the same velocity as it would, or nearly the same amount of force as it would when you're directly on the surface. It's marginally less, like such a small amount that it's negligible. So, for example, when people are on the ISS, the almostly, yeah, why not? Almostly the full effects of the gravitational pull of the Earth is still acting upon them. How are they floating, you ask? They're falling over the edge, you know what I mean? They're falling over the Earth, essentially. So their linear velocity is fast enough to cancel out the effect of gravity pulling them down. So essentially, they're falling over the curve. That's exactly how orbital mechanics work. Not how orbital mechanics work, as in how low Earth orbit works, for example. So yeah, I mean, it's as simple as that, really. It's not a case. Nobody claims that the second you pass the Kármán line that you just start floating up there. That's not how it works. You have to keep going around it the whole time, constantly orbiting, the same way as the moon orbits us, etc., etc. That's how it works. So I don't know what to tell you. You might need to go and look into it and understand it a bit better. But you think it's magic that you just get past a certain point and then you just start floating? That's not how that works. Anyway, that's hilarious. So the shit commented, "Wow, love your videos. Yeah, so lame. For real, where that picture that laddie was going to get with the world behind her, haha, fuck no picture taken, nothing, haha, good gosh, man, so crazy." Punctuation, man. Punctuation. Here's a few dots for you. Okay, we only saw a couple of minutes of the whole flight, so I don't know. Maybe she took it on the way up, maybe she took it on the way down, maybe she took it while she was there. I will just have to wait and see, right? I don't want else to tell you. I wasn't there. I don't know if she actually did take. Maybe she dropped the paper. Who knows? Could be anything. She's no lady, dude. She might have forgotten. Earth is flat, space is fake. Says, so instead of looking out the window, let's just have a game of toss. Never mind the greatest thing to be seen. Ridiculous. They were able to look out the window the whole way up and the whole way back. Why? And they did look out the window while they were up there, as we literally saw in the video that this guy made. Mother of God, these people, the cognitive dissonance here is blinding. Unbelievable. Hold on, I'll just make sure I didn't miss anything major. Not that I can see. That's good. Alrighty. Johnny O, take care, my friend. Have a good one, buddy. So anyway, let's go back to the chat. So Flat Earth Trekker says, R.I.P. Globe. Why though? What, like, I don't get it. What about this video made you think, oh yeah, there it is, globe destroyed? What about that video was the, oh yeah, there it is moment? Nothing. Like, I mean, even if I put on my dumbest globe hat, I still can't, or my dumbest flat earth hat, I should say, God. I wouldn't be able to look at that and be like, there's something in there that would disprove the globe or maybe be questionable. Not even that, let alone, oh, yep, there it is. Take a bite out of the globe, it's gone, it's dead. No, nothing. This is just trying to please yourself, if you will. Jill Kelly, I'm going to take a wild guess here. A very wild guess indeed. That Flat Earth Trekker and Jill Kelly are the same person. And I will show you why. I just spotted this. Oh, wait. Maybe not. I'm just saying that they have the exact same profile picture, but that might be that it just didn't load, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, that's besides the point. Where's the... Son of a... What did I even press now? How did I even do that? Oh, okay, so I pressed on Flat Earth Trekker's...
I cannot.
Oh, wow. Guys, take a moment to...
Alrighty, well, that was interesting. Clicked on a whole load of shit. Alright, back to the comments. Where's that? Flat Earth Trekker. Oh, okay, not the same person. Okay, my bad. Jill Kelly says, the sound we hear is the convection engine vibration of the airplanes on the 0G plane. So we literally watched it live launching, right? And people were actually there looking at it go up, right? So it wasn't an airplane. There was no airplane there. That's the first one. The second one is it is falling through the atmosphere at hundreds and hundreds of miles an hour. Do you not expect that to make any noise whatsoever? What happens when you're on your bicycle and you roll down a hill? Does all noise just stop because there's no engine on it? Do you think that there is nothing on board that would make noise? For example, an auxiliary power unit that's running the lights and the electronics on board. Come on. Use your brain. All right? Come on. Let's be real here. Just somebody said, once you open your eyes, you see all the lies. That's a really nice poem. Cans says, whooping rather than being humbled. That's just your opinion. That means nothing to me. I don't care if you think they should be humbled or if you think they should do something else or you think they should look out the window. You're not there. I'm not there. We don't get a say in it. Simple as that. Sweeper Truth Channel says they are really moving forward with pushing fake space. How so? This would be kind of one of the less space propaganda videos out there, really. You know, it's a pretty small deal compared to other stuff we've seen. Pro Alpha 1 Constitution says you can see what looked like a wire being hit by the ligged or therein airplane falling down. I'm slowing it down the video. I've pointed out water bubbles in the last couple videos ago and them using a paint tool to block it out on the Virgin video. I'm gonna have to... Oh wait, no, because he had nothing on his channel, so... Anyway, yeah, okay, let's... We'll just... I think it's fair to say we'll just move on. Cool story, bro. Mr. Chezik says... it was on TV, passes for science these days. It's comical that people still buy into this farce. Says the guy, I saw it on YouTube. I saw a YouTube video where the man said the earth was flat, like this, so it must be flat. Cool story, bro. We don't need TV. We don't need anybody to tell us anything. We can test everything for ourselves, pretty much. Oh, so fucking sleepy. Good to see you, my friend. From $5 US says, thanks for the hours of entertainment every day. The best of luck on your move. Thank you so much, my friend. I really do appreciate that. And I love entertaining you fine folks every day. It's what makes life worthwhile. That was a bit of an overstatement. Sorry, Mrs. Demon and the dogs. But it's one of the things that makes life worthwhile. I love entertaining people. Love giving people a laugh. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, Dumb Jezza, me too. I was actually genuinely impressed, and I gotta say, hats off to you. What's his name? Level Earth Observer. He gets a fair old bit of engagement, and fair play to you. You know what I mean? I gotta give you the props there. Like, he has a lot of comments on this video. He gets a lot of views. He's got a lot of subscribers. Respect where respect is due. Still a complete moron, but respect where respect is due. No Donk Record says, great video, brother. That shows clearly the Clown Space Show. Okay, like there literally is nothing that he said that shows clearly anything. And that's not coming from a Globe shill. That's a legit, like there's literally nothing he said that could prove or disprove anything. It's just literally him going, I'm just going to post you right there. Absolutely ridiculous. Moving on. It's like, what? Well, why though? Like, what's usually he tries to explain things. He didn't explain shit in this one. He had nothing to go on. I'm really disappointed. Anyway, so he says, in my Blue Origin professional lens correction video, The Red Pill, I prove 100% the Earth is flat. A curvature of the Earth is only generated with a fisheye lens. Keep going, Level Earth Observer. All right, well, let's... shameless plug there, bud, but let's have a look. I don't know if there's going to be any copyrighted music on this. There usually is. So I'm going to switch off desktop audio while I just briefly check. I assume there will be. There is always copyrighted music on these videos, man. And it's always way too loud to actually hear anything. It's just the same old rehashed shit that's always there. I can play it without the sound in a minute. Let's do it now. Let's do it now. This is no Donk Record. So there's no sound here, folks. All right. So just so you know. Let's have a look. If he says anything, I'll just tell you what he said. Because I'm not playing it if it's gonna end up getting me in more trouble. NASA, Houston, I have a problem here. Yeah, it's called a head injury. This old video. So the guy talking to him was like, you look like you're in a studio, maybe in Omaha, Nebraska or something. Are you really in space? He says, is this a hoax? Are you really in space still? So she says, see the hair, right? And they love to go on that, like, it's clearly blah, 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 blah. Some kind of hair product. Well, let's zoom in, shall we? Note her necklace. How is it that her necklace seems to be in free fall? Flat Earthers, please attempt to explain that. CGI? But if they were going to CGI that, wouldn't they just CGI the whole thing rather than having to use... Because here's the thing, nothing seems to match up with reality when they say, so it's CGI. So one part of it is CGI, but the other part of it they're using harnesses. Why bother? Why not just CGI the whole thing? Do you see what I mean? There's always like, it's just like the proofs they have for the flat Earth. It works maybe for one thing, but everything else doesn't work as a result of that. So they have to come up with a different thing, and then that first thing doesn't work with that second thing, etc. Yeah, so you can see her necklace floating around. How would that be possible? Right, so I think I've broken this video down before. And I'm going to do it again, I suppose. Like, if it's being asked of me, I'll do it. So let's have a look at what happened. So he does a little backflip. So I'm going to guess that the claim is that he's on a harness. Now, I used to teach climbing, believe it or not. So I used to wear a harness all day, every day when I was about 17, 18, and 19. This is not possible on any kind of harness because in order for him to be tethered, his arms cannot be out further than his hips. Otherwise, he would have to use a central cord, which is not possible to do a backflip on. So it has to be one or the other. There's no possible way otherwise. Now, how would that cable that's coming from the microphone be able to pass through the cable that he's allegedly suspended from? Also, I have those socks. Completely impossible. Now, I know what he's going to point out here. He's going to point out the fact that he clearly grabbed a cable or whatever that he's suspended from, right? Cool story, bro. But you still wouldn't be able to explain how his arm, and the cable are all able to pass, as in the cable for the microphone, are all able to pass through this imaginary cable in your brain. But it's clearly his finger goes into the guy's pocket and pulls him over. And because they're in a weightless environment, it's not very hard to move something as heavy as a person. So moving on. So his arm would now be passing through the cable, the imaginary cable. You can clearly see his pinky finger is in the guy's pocket. Like, you can clearly see that. And he was just steadying. See? Pinky finger in the pocket. Like, that's as clear as day. How they can look at that and go, oh, it's clearly a cable. It's like, dude, we're literally looking at the guy's finger in the other dude's pocket. See? He says, here's clear evidence that astronauts are hanging by wires in the studio ISS. Again, how is his arm passing through the wires? How is the cable of the microphone passing through the wires? How are they able to move in different directions if they're on cables? None of this is possible. Why is it that we don't see these cables at all, right? At all. If you're saying that they edited them out after the fact, why would they leave in the part where the guy grabs the cable? Do you not see the absurdity of what you're saying? We can physically, with our eyeballs, optically see that his finger is in the guy's pocket. I don't know if you've ever been underwater, but if you grab someone underwater, it's much easier to move them than it would be, on land. Much the same as if you were in microgravity. Things appear much lighter, easier to maneuver, etc. Is that it? Is that literally it? The same rehashed shite that we always see. Like, these guys never have anything new. Come on, man. To quote Joe Biden, come on, man. All right, let's see what else he's got here. Blue Sky Sun. What was his claim? What was his claim originally? He said, great video. In my Blue Origin Professional Lens Correction video. Professional Lens Correction. Let's see. Blue Origin Professional. Blue Origin. Oh, yeah, okay. Lens correction. I guarantee there's more music on this. If there's more music on this one, I'm not playing it because it's pointless. Just give me 1 sec there. I just got to pop out for 2 secs. I think there's someone at the door and Mrs. Demon's in the bath. So I'll be right back. Sorry about that. It wasn't someone at the door. It was the wind. Anyway, so I'm gonna have a look at this video. If there, as I say, if there's music in it, I'm just not gonna waste my time because I don't want to get another copyright strike over a stupid flat Earth video. So yeah, nah, it's just more of the same bullshit. It's just rehashed music. Not doing it. Not falling for that shit again. All right, so back to the comments, and then we'll probably leave it there because I actually have to go film a video. So Joe Aganloni says the chick putting the fingers in the window said, "This is different. OMG, is that all she had to say?" Maybe she said more things. They just play little bits of it, right? I mean, okay. Ben says, "Gonna wear my cowboy boots with my spacesuit for my first trip to space." They weren't wearing spacesuits. And he's kind of known as the Texan, you know what I mean? The hat and the cowboy boots is kind of his shtick. So, yeah, it's probably why he would. Carmichael says, "It's the oid look at us, watch us mess about rather than show us outside, get us the perfect view, grab a camera, and show us everything they don't even care themselves." God, punctuation. You put a ton of dots here in the middle. Why didn't you use some of them throughout the rest of that ridiculously long sentence? Anyway, woo, look at me float, look. Relax and show us something. Take in the flat view at least. Same old nonsense. Why would they? I mean, you can literally look at the Earth live from the ISS every single day. So why would you waste your time? Anyway, and why would they go all the way to space to waste their time trying to please flat earthers of all people? Wow. iCinema GR says airplane windows are 20 centimeters to keep the pressure from outside. No, it's to keep the lack of pressure. It's a different concept entirely. Those windows are like doors. Ha 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 ha. Very real. Ha 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 ha. So the windows are bigger. Okay. What's the problem with that? Like that. I don't understand why that's a problem. I really don't. Like, this is the thing. Oh, but this thing is this way. So then this thing must be this way. Have you ever seen the front windows of an airplane by any chance? The massive front windows of an airplane that are probably bigger than that. Come on, man. Have you ever seen the canopy of a fighter jet, for example? Like a MiG that goes up to massive heights, or a U-2 plane that goes up to massive heights? They're huge as well. Well, this looks like an airplane window, so this must be this big. Come on, man. It's not even that much bigger than an airplane window. It's bigger, for sure. Twice as big, maybe. Maybe even slightly more than that, but that doesn't mean anything. Chili Willy says, "Been waiting, lol. Showing the curvature at ground level from the test flight shows how fake it is." But again, it's not an instrument used to measure the shape of the Earth. It's a wide-angle lens, so we can see as much of the awesome stuff as possible. It's got nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. Skeptic says, "Boring. I want to see a meteor." I'm not reading that. That's horrible, man. Why would you wish death on people? That's awful. No Name says, "Looks like a cramped space, not worth the effort, time, or money." Psh. Ever heard of a submarine? I'd love to go on one. That's awesome. Who cares if it's cramped? What do you expect? Lounge rooms and stuff for a 10-minute flight? What the fuck is wrong with these people, man? Flatsoid FE says, "Why does it sound so plastic?" What? How can something sound plastic? I didn't hear anybody like knocking on it or anything. What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't think the materials used would be structurally more sound for safety, especially when they are bought even wearing the correct apparel for that altitude? Why are they bought wearing the correct apparel for that altitude? What is the correct apparel for that altitude then? And what do you mean materials used? You don't know what the materials are. You just said sounds like plastic. So therefore it must be plastic. What are you talking about, man? Andrew Calver says the horizons in the window are all level lines. They're evidently not, though. I mean, you can literally see that they're not. It's just the ones at left and right are just angled, projected images on a screen, most likely. I think that actually probably is because of the fisheye lens. I love how they claim that it's fisheye lens when it's at altitude, but when it's on the ground, it's not fisheye lens, it's fakery. Oh man, these people. Dave Anderson says, if you rewatch the mannequin, oh yeah, he's just explaining some stuff about that. That's cool. Who wants a Skittle? This is just as fraudulent as bringing golf clubs to the moon. That was just purely for fun. Again, something that I'm sorry that you're incapable of, whatever. Fred, great. I was waiting for you to comment this ridiculous blorgen. Spacious living, lol. Okay. Flurf Annihilator says, if I was there, I would be looking out the window. Let's send Leo to space in 2022. Or are you scared? I just don't think you would pass any of the psychological tests necessarily. Flat Earth Dude says, fuffs, please. Okay. Fuffs, I guess. Anyway. Johnny M says, you can hear the jet engines from the zero-G plane. Okay, no, you can't. Have you ever heard a jet engine before? Anyway, maybe Jeff Bezos. Oh, that's clever, Level Planet. That's real clever. Maybe Jeff Bezos. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to ring my mom and tell her this hilarious joke. Oh yeah, no, because it's not. We'll send the next rocket to Uranus, but please not to mine. Hilarious. DG Ouija says a Megabucks carnival free fall ride and everybody comes back to tell lies about what they really saw. What a joke. Punctuation, please. Are punctuations illegal on Flat Earth? And then Wally's Warzone says ridiculous space crap because outer space is fake. Okay. Cool story, bro. Care to prove it? No, they don't, because they never do and they can't, because it's not something that you can prove to be true when it is evidently and demonstrably false, i.e. the flat earth. Anyway, lads and lassies, message to you, Level Earth Observer. I am disappointed. I thought I would get something more from you. I really thought that you could do better than this. I really did. But evidently, it wasn't to be. It was not to be. Maybe there'll be more. Usually he kind of does a run of 2 videos. That's the general rule of thumb where he's concerned. But we'll wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. It'll be interesting to see where we go from here. But anyway, lads and lassies, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It was a lot of fun breaking this down. It was going on nearly 2 hours. I can't believe we got 2 hours out of a 6-minute video. But it was a lot of fun. It was really fun to... Hold on, he made a knob joke, did he? Oh, now I get it. Okay. All right. I'll give credit where it's due. I can't not laugh at a Willy joke. But anyway, lads and lads, thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate it. As you guys all know, I'm moving back to Ireland next week. Super excited. So there might be a few less live streams for sure. And maybe a few less uploaded videos on both channels over the coming weeks, because getting settled into a new country and all the rest of it's a lot of work. So in the meantime, if you want to support the channel, there's a few things you can do. Hitting the like button always helps. Commenting down below really does help, and sharing the video. If you've got Facebook or whatever, share the video on there. On Twitter, if you share it and hashtag Flat Earth, you'll get it out there. It'll drive them crazy. It'll be hilarious. And yeah, if you want to become a channel member, channel memberships are now open on this channel as well as the other one. Or you can become a Patreon for as little as $1 a month. I really appreciate it, lads and lasses. Thank you so much for your continuing support. Oh yeah, I also have PayPal as well if anybody wanted to support the channel that way. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the show. I had a lot of fun making it. It was one of these fun, spur-of-the-moment shows and great crack. So thank you so much. Have a great day, my friends, and sláinte. To infinity and beyond to you, Flat Earthers.